peace, mercy, and blessings of God be upon you. We all know about tooth decay. Many people suffer from tooth decay whether they are children or adults. But have you ever wondered or crossed your mind what this tooth decay is? Why is it even called cavities? For example, are these cavities caused by the presence of a mite? Or a living organism that enters the teeth to live inside them, or for other reasons? And since tooth decay is inside the teeth anyway, what is the best way to preserve our teeth? Welcome, I am Mohammed Saleh, but before we start, if you are still new to the channel, do not forget to press like and activate the bell to receive our videos first. The one before us in this picture is the grain weevil. A tiny creature, only about 6 millimeters long. Follows the order of beetles or coleoptera. We can see it in ancient flour, wheat, or corn. It also appears in dry foods when left for a long time. This weevil is a plant organism that feeds on herbs and plants, and there are more than 60,000 species of them in nature. This weevil has nothing to do with tooth decay, praise be to God, neither from near nor from afar. And when we say that a person has caries, we do not mean that this weevil or one of its relatives entered his teeth and lived inside them and caused him problems. But the connection between them is that caries in both cases means putrefaction, corruption, or decomposition. Of course, this is an accurate description of carious teeth. But in the first and foremost it is just a moody metaphor or simile, nothing more. Well, since this mite, thank God, is not inside our mouths and does not infect our teeth. What causes our teeth to decay and reach this state? Tooth decay occurs when a group of circumstances gathers, and this has nothing to do with caries as we explained, but this does not prevent the presence of small living organisms inside the teeth that help in this decay process. And these creatures are bacteria. Bacteria are all around us. On our hands, on our bodies, on our clothes, on our desks, on our cell phones, and on just about everything. But as long as it is at normal levels, there is no harm in that. And at the same pace, a large group of bacteria lives in the human mouth. There is usually no harm from them, and they coexist with our bodies naturally. Instead, there are bacteria that will be beneficial. The important thing is that the whole problem is related to leftovers, after we have finished eating the food, whatever its contents, and there are small leftovers on the surface of the teeth, which remain between the teeth and each other, or in a small gap in one of the molars, or even on the outside of our teeth when not cleaned, brushing teeth. And these bacteria in the mouth, when you see the leftovers, make the bacteria feel joyful. Especially if this food is sugars or starches. Instead of rejoicing, the bacteria make 2 or 3 joys. Bacteria begin to invade food debris in the mouth. The more they feed, the more they multiply, and they become colonies. And not only that, these bacteria secrete a specific type of acid that dissolves the hard outer layer that protects the teeth, which is called the enamel layer. These acids create cracks and holes in the enamel. In this way, bacteria penetrate a new part of the tooth, forming larger colonies. The same process is repeated one after the other, and bacteria always like to multiply in hidden places, that is, under the molars, around the deep cracks in a far corner of the mouth. The important thing is that they multiply in a place that is difficult to reach, and therefore difficult to clean, and this means that these bacteria are awake and not sleeping. The scenario we talked about happens at any age and to any person. Yes, the rate at which it occurs varies from person to person. I mean, for example, children have more cavities than adults, especially those who eat a lot of sugar and starches. They have more cavities than those who eat a healthy, balanced diet, and those with dry mouth have more cavities than those who don't. They do. We have that, but with this process happens to everyone, but it's happening on your teeth now. Doctors say that within just 20 minutes of eating, bacteria and their men kick into action, invade leftovers, and begin multiplying. But as we said, their rate varies from person to person. An important thing to understand is that cavities are degrees or stages. For example, there is a type of caries called superficial caries or first-degree caries. This is probably one of the most popular types of cavities out there. It is available to many people. These will be black lines in the cavities of the surface of the molars. This type of caries is classified as the least dangerous for 2 reasons. The first of which is that it is very easy to detect, and that if someone were to open their mouth and look in the mirror, they would be able to notice them easily. The second reason is that caries is far from the enamel layer, and the dentin layer separates it from the nerve. By the way, this does not mean that we say that this type is less dangerous, but it does not mean that the problem is over. We're obsessed with cavities first, so no problem. What we mean is that it is easy to detect and treat in the early stages. But what kind of caries, no matter how simple it is, if the sufferer neglects it for a long time without paying attention, it will turn into a dangerous type, and it will also spread to the adjacent teeth. The second type is interstitial caries. And that is his name, as we said, and what does he do? This type maintains decay between the teeth or molars. This is considered one of the most dangerous types of cavities out there. This is because, first, because this area he is in is hidden and not easily noticed. And secondly, when a cavity occurs in this area, it occurs in two molars together, not just one molar. This means that the problem has doubled. We come now to shed light on the next type, which is gum caries. This type occurs in the touching part of the gums, whether in the front teeth or even the back molars. This type of cavities appears in people who drink carbonated beverages excessively. This type is between easy and difficult. It can be easily noticed because it is in front of the gum nerves, although it is a little difficult to treat. This is because the cavities in this area are close to the nerve of the tooth. Also, when doctors fill in this part, the filler doesn't get too strong. Let's continue asking the question. Is it if I suffer from simple caries? Can tooth decay disappear when I brush my teeth well? After all, some people believe that if they brush their teeth regularly, they will eliminate caries. Of course, this is not true. Brushing and oral care is a preventive measure, not a cure for tooth decay. I mean, we should do it before our teeth get cavities. But if this happens and our teeth are damaged, we must go to the dentist, and he will do the necessary. The dentist cleans the place of decay with the devices he has, removes the entire affected part, and then places the artificial fillings. But the only case in which brushing and toothpaste can be useful against cavities is if we encounter tooth decay in its early days, before any decay, crusts, pits or cavities occur, but as soon as cavities appear, there is no solution, and the solution is only the doctor. This does not mean that we should stop brushing our teeth. In the end, let's give some tips, and again, these are tips for those who want to stimulate their teeth, not allowing them to reach the stage of caries. A person who already suffers from tooth decay needs to go to the dentist. The first thing, we need to brush our teeth well every day, also using a toothbrush and floss, because dental floss is used to remove food between the teeth and molars. Dental floss can reach places that brushes can't. We can also use toothpaste or mouthwash. Another very important thing is that we clean our tongue. Many people imagine that tongue cleaning is not meant to be done. This is not true. It is possible that a person smells bad in his mouth because of his tongue, not because of his teeth. There are a lot of toothbrushes sold now, and the back of the brush is a prominent block that cleans the tongue. And when we come to brush our teeth, there is no need to rush. I mean, we don't do 1 or 2 lunges and we don't clean well. No. We should brush our teeth for 2 to 3 minutes. And when we come to brush our teeth, we brush our teeth from top to bottom, from right to left, from the inside of the teeth, on the outer surface of the molars, from the inside of the teeth, and everything. So that we don't leave any part of the teeth without washing. Because if we don't wash a certain part of the teeth, and we get used to not brushing that part, there will always be problems. And remember, when we're talking toothbrushes, toothpicks are really good at cleaning. Especially since it is natural and does not contain chemicals like those found in the paste. This makes for really nice breathing. The second tip is to pay attention to the quality of the food we eat. As we have shown, sugars and starches are some of the most problematic foods. This is why we try as much as possible not to eat them. And if we want to eat it, we eat it inside another meal filled with other things. I mean, if we want to eat jam, we don't go make a jam sandwich with only white bread. But we put jam in the whole meal. It contains cheese, cucumber, fruit, salad, etc., because the saliva and the middle of the mouth become acidic due to the sugars. This, however, is that a varied food is itself a mouth cleaner. This means that if there is jam left, and then you automatically eat the cucumber, you will lose the jam that was in the mouth. Of course, it is very important to reduce acidic foods such as Pepsi, cola, processed juices, and all these things cause tooth erosion without bacteria or anything. This is because she supplies her acids from home. I don't expect you to do anything. Finally, check your teeth with your doctor from time to time. And do not think that your teeth have not hurt you now, because they do not have caries. Even if there is a hidden decay, treat it in its early stages, before it becomes attached to a nerve and eventually causes exhaustion. We ask God for you and us wellness. That's it, we're done. Who got here? Who arrived? You are the best people. Like before going out so we know how many people made it to the end of the video. Please, and not in order, do not forget, if there is a question that comes to you day or night and confuses you, write it to us in the comments below the video so that we can answer it. Most of our episodes we take from the comments. Bye.